Welcome to Hitman Boxing. So look, Tony Bellew is looking to come back at the end of the year in either November or December for his next bout at heavyweight. Now, he did mention 3 names that he wanted to fight near the end of the year. Okay? Now, the first name he mentioned was Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker is the WBO champion right now. And it looks like he still has a mandatory obligation to fight Hughie Fury. You know, the drug guy. The guy who's on something. The guy who can't get into a country because he pops dirty for, we're not even going to get into that this video. But look, Joseph Parker has an obligation to fight Hughie Fury. Okay? So, Tony Bellew versus Joseph Parker probably won't happen near the end of the year. Though, I think that's one of the better fights of the 3 that he mentioned. I think he would fare better off against Joseph Parker than any of the other heavyweights, to be honest with you. And also to be honest with you, Tony Bellew is nothing but a fat ass cruiserweight. That's all he is. He's a blown up cruiserweight fighting at heavyweight. But he seems to think that he can win a world title at heavyweight. And I don't know why he has this idea in his head, because looking at the current champions, I can't say that he beats any of them at all. And to be honest with you, I really can't think of any decent heavyweight that he beats, fighting at heavyweight. How tall is Tony Bellew? Like 6'4"? He wasn't even that impressive in the David Haye fight. Really, truth be told, the only reason why he beat David Haye is because of the Achilles injury. That's the only reason why he beat him. But again, Tony Bellew versus Joseph Parker. He's calling him out. He would like to fight him near the end of the year. It's not going to happen. Okay, we'll move on to the next fighter. The next fighter, Deontay Wilder. They've had choice words in the UK through Twitter. But if Tony Bellew really thinks that he could beat Deontay Wilder, and I know I talk a lot of shit about Deontay Wilder on this channel, but there's no way in hell Tony Bellew beats Deontay Wilder anywhere on this planet. Like I said, Tony Bellew's nothing more than a blown up cruiserweight. And he would get knocked out by Deontay Wilder for sure. For sure. And I'm pretty sure Joseph Parker would probably outbox the shit out of his ass. So he probably wants to stay away from Deontay Wilder if he's looking to, keep what brain power he has left, because, he gets knocked out by Deontay Wilder, he might not be back in that ring for a minute. Now, I know Tony Bellew suffered a hand injury against David Haye, so, more than likely we're not going to see Tony Bellew fight near the end of the year. I would think more realistically he'll fight at the beginning of 2018, okay? But, he's called out Deontay Wilder on Twitter. They've talked shit to each other in person at that, Anthony Joshua, Vladimir Klitschko fight. He talked shit to him in person. Big exchange of words. If you guys remember, go back and watch those videos. But, Deontay Wilder would beat this motherfucker inside of 5 rounds, I would say. All right, he'd get knocked out. Simple. All right, now, moving along. The third person that Tony Bellew has mentioned for his comeback fight was David Haye. Now, we know how that first fight was going. David Haye was getting his ass beat. Oh, no. I take that back. Tony Bellew was getting his ass beat, and it was looking like he was going to get stopped, if I recall, until David Haye suffered that injury. And even after that injury, it took Tony Bellew some time to get him out of there. He was still holding his own against Tony Bellew. It was crazy, right? Like, David Haye really showed that, he had a heart of a champion, but people won't say that shit because they don't like him as a person. And I don't like David Haye as a person either. So I'm surprised I'm giving him props. But we really don't know when David Haye's going to come back from this injury. I don't even know if November, December of this year is even realistic for him to even come back and fight Tony Bellew. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I think mentally David Haye's done. I think he's defeated. And, if he comes back and fights Tony Bellew, I don't know, man. I really don't know who will win that fight. Like, on some real shit, I think, man, I don't know. I think maybe he might take it against David Haye. Who knows, man? Depending upon what happens between now and then, and, how mentally tough David Haye is after that injury. But, the build-up for that fight initially was crazy. And there was a lot of stuff being said. A lot of personal stuff was being said between both parties. So, I mean, at least we know the build-up for the fight for part 2 would be great, just like the first fight was. There was a lot of good build-up for the fight. The only thing is, in the ring, it just turned out to be real sloppy, and unfortunate that David Haye had to suffer that Achilles injury. So, realistically, I'm not sure if he's going to actually be able to fight any of these 3 opponents in November or December. And I also forgot to mention, you know, Deontay Wilder's got his mandatory obligation to fight Bermane Stiverne again, which is bullshit in my opinion. But I mean, Parker has an obligation, Wilder has an obligation, and you know, David Haye, I mean, really, I would think that the only fight he would want when he comes back is to get his redemption against Tony Bellew, right? I mean, it makes sense to me. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think, man. You know, Tony Bellew, he's not a heavyweight. He's not a heavyweight in my opinion, and I don't think he'll ever hold a belt at heavyweight. Like, who could he even fight at heavyweight that he could potentially beat? Like you throw a name out there, oh, definitely Tony Bellew, you could beat him. Do me a favor and do something like, throw me a name out there that he could beat for sure at heavyweight. That's maybe a B-level fighter, but he's not beating any of the A-level fighters at heavyweight. I'm sorry. You know, I don't got any confidence in dude. He needs to go back down to cruiserweight. I mean, he still got that WBC belt. He might as well just stay down there, man. But it seems like all the money fights are at heavyweight. Nobody really even mentions the cruiserweights. No one does videos about the cruiserweights. No one is even talking about the cruiserweights. But I mean, he's got a mouthpiece. You know what I'm saying? He need to go get his money. I think what it comes down to is Eddie Hearn trying to cash this dude out. So it's really a matter of who he wants to cash David Haye out to. And, you know, what would be the biggest reward for him. So it is what it is. Tony Bellew's a fucking bell end anyway. So we're going to see what happens when he comes back in the ring in November, December. I'm pretty sure he's getting knocked the fuck out, regardless of who he fights. And that's that. Hitman Boxing. Drop a comment. Like the video. Subscribe. Or don't. It don't matter. Because I'm still going to get views. I'm still going to get subs. It's easy. Easy work. Hitman Boxing. I'm out.
This world will bring you down with mass confusion and complexities, but I am the master of my fate and captain of my soul, you see. Stuck in the mentalities that says one thing and does another, oh, the contradictories. That's when I visit my utopia of Capricornia to be free. Most would say that's not normal, but for me, life is but a dream, and your reality is what it seems. I'm sitting in the crib I found on Craigslist, staring out in space, scheming what my next move is. I'm thinking that it's time to move west. No idea what I'm doing, I'm just trying my best. Not exactly where I thought I'd be. Honestly, a 9 to 5 never was in my dreams. I've been feeling all alone lately. Nothing I ain't used to since '88 as a baby. When I came up out the womb, everybody knew it was something special about me that fills a room. I never understood it, but my OG told me it's a blessing. I should use it to the fullest. And that's what I've been trying to do. But it's hard to keep a smile on your face while paying dues. Damn, it's hella cloudy in the room, and the shadow of reality is darkest when it glooms.
I'm in the midst of the world. I wish someone could see me. Surrounded by clouds, free me. It's like an endless dream, leading to endless roads. I wanna be free from this army of clouds.
I had a suicide dream about a month ago, while I was sleeping on the couch at my parental's house. That's when I knew that it was time for me to up and go. So I booked it, couple friends took it personal. Like, why you just up and go? Ain't even bother to tell nobody, that's rude, bro. It was unintentional. Conversations with myself, I need a hospital. I think I've gone bipolar. Half of me is conservative and the other stoner. I think I lost the love that I had from a good girl. The temp is negative 18, yeah, that's a cold world. Janis Joplin that's playing on my Pandora station. Cosmic blues, just some emotional life changes. Whole time, no, I gotta stop looking back, because the future's not a present, gotta get on track.
I'm in the midst of the world. I wish someone could see me. Surrounded by clouds, free me. It's like an endless dream, leading to endless roads. I wanna be free from this army of clouds.